Recording. Cool. So welcome everyone to our weekly Learn to Prompt series. And like I mentioned, I'm Arjun Saxena, founder CEO of Humanic, and we're building the Lovable for email marketing based here in California. So the big theme is that, 70% of your job is going to be redefined in the next few years, and that's the impact of AI. And this is a quote from Tomer Cohen, who's the Chief Product Officer of LinkedIn. Obviously, he's in a unique position to make this statement because of the number of people that are on LinkedIn and everything they know about the job market. So when it comes to email marketing, there is a lot of things that are changing, all in the way that you create campaigns, in the way that you think of deliverability. Inbox placement is becoming a big thing. Spam control is decreased. So a lot of things are changing um, with email marketing specifically, and that's what I'm going to walk you through today. Any questions so far? Should we get started? Okay. Oops. So before we begin, let me talk a little bit about LLMs and search engines. So when you think of typical search engine like Google, what you're doing is essentially it's prescriptive. Whenever you search for something, it takes you to the webpage of somebody that's written something about that topic that is very popular, that has a lot of people linking to it. And that's so every time you search for a keyword, you will get the same web page or the same information. The way that LLMs are different is that think of it as a condensed search engine. The entire textual, information around the world, as much as these LLMs have been able to capture, have been condensed into a bunch of numbers. Like LLM at the core is nothing but, matrix multiplication in billions of parameters, billions of times. And that's how you get to these, different numbers and weights. Think of it as like a condensed search engine where LLMs are essentially probabilistic. Each time you ask them something, it'll give you a slightly different answer. And it's because it's being generated, it's not by these numbers, it's not always there. So that's essentially one thing to remember about LLMs and how they're different from your typical search engines like Google. Now, this is what makes prompting very important because model can guess well. They have a lot of context. It's scary how much context they already have. But guessing isn't accuracy. When you're thinking of production grade stuff, you need, pixel perfect emails. You need pixel perfect like messaging, and guessing isn't the same as getting it right every time. So letting AI interpret messy language is a gamble, not a strategy. High quality output demands clear constraints and precise prompts. Without that, you're not engineering, you're just spectating. So this is what the nature of LLMs is what makes um, prompting more important than it has been so far. And the second sort of point around LLMs is prompting is the compiler of language. A coder doesn't wish for an app into existence, and an AI user shouldn't wish for an answer. Prompt engineering is the new syntax. If you can structure your logic, if you can't structure your logic, you can't debug or reproduce the results. So I'll stop for a second there and see if anybody else has any questions around just what are LLMs and what is prompting and why it's so important. Any questions so far? Or should I continue? Cool. Okay, I'll take that as a yes and continue. So next up, is the mission from this Learn to Prompt series. It's built around a practical question. How to use modern AI tools to improve how products are launched, positioned, distributed. And this series brings together founders, marketeers, operators, all of you builders who want to work hands-on with AI rather than talk about it. And this series centers on prompt design as a core skill for go-to-market work. And the emphasis is on writing prompts that are clear, reusable, and grounded in real problems the team faces every day. So we've done a bunch of hackathons as part of the AI marketing community, which I also lead in San Francisco. We've done 3 conferences around, AI and marketing. All of this information is on, if you go to humanic.ai and go to the AI marketing, you'll see all of this information. You can also go to YouTube to watch a lot of these videos. And these are all CMOs and practitioners and founders that are building in the AI marketing space. So all of this information is available to you all as well as, our larger community. Okay. So in terms of the agenda for today, very quickly, if you can in the chat box, say who you are, where you're calling in from, and what you're building as it relates to email or prompting or otherwise. And then we'll, next 15 to 30 minutes, I'm going to talk about, what the mindset is, what the structure is, evaluations, prompt ownership, guardrails, and then spend a lot of time on techniques for prompting. And then we'll get into a working session where I'll encourage all of you to sign up to humanic.ai, which is the platform that we'll use to demonstrate many of these prompting techniques. So far, so good? Okay. So before I get into the agenda, I want to take a step back and talk about what is happening at a high level. So if you look at, what's happening in AI marketing in the last couple of years, there are 4 corners to it, which I call the AI marketing diamond. At the top are the Fortune 500 companies. They are all using Anthropic, OpenAI, Zapier, Cursor, and they've figured out that they have bespoke workflows that they need to implement because they are all companies of one. And that's sort of a lot of work that is going on directly trying to automate many of the things that these companies have in common. Then on the left, you have the existing marketing vendors in the AI space like Hightouch, Braze, Iterable, Klaviyo, Mailchimp that are, adding components of AI. And then on the other side, there are the new marketing vendors like Humanic, Amoeba, many others that are AI native marketing stack. And the last corner are AI agencies. So far, marketing automation tools and marketing in general has been a lot of bespoke work with SEO and content and websites and everything else. And new agencies are getting built. There are AI agencies, and those are the companies that are taking either existing marketing vendors or new marketing vendors and implementing them in banks and other larger corporations. So that's sort of the interplay of what's going on with the space in general. And all software products, in my view, are going to be coming in 3 different flavors. So the new AI native software products are either single workflow, like Humanic. We do email marketing that is Descript, that does video, that is Typeface, that is doing content. And they're taking one workflow and going deep into it. Then there are companies that are trying to do team. Um, uh, like they're automating entire marketing teams. High Touch is an example of that. And then there are companies that are saying that agents can do everything that you want to do. So they'll do support and legal and HR and everything else. So the entire software landscape is getting agentified or, whatever is the right word for it. And that's what, is happening. And much of the software that is being rewritten is going to be prompt-based. So in lifecycle marketing, like I mentioned, Humanic is leading the way. And then there is Resend that also has a similar but different product for developers. For UI generation, there is Lovable and Bolt and Replit. They're all prompt-based. And for development, like coding, there is Cursor, there is, Windsurf and other such companies, as well as Vercel that are very much around prompting. Any questions so far? Okay. Staying at a higher level, if you look again in the marketing landscape, so this is how we see the before and after. What used to be a lot of internal teams and agency work are now becoming products. So no-code AI workflows, things like Zapier, N8N are very, very popular around the world. Make is another one. There are general purpose AI workflows that allow you to connect different workflows in a company together. Then there is AirOps for SEO. There is Relevance AI, many others that are doing specific workflows. For AI marketing orchestration, there is, Resend, Iterable, Humanic, many others. Data intelligence that used to be data science work, many, many tools, AMP, Amoeba, and for outbound, there is Clay and Apollo that are very, very popular. SEO, there is AirOps, right, Sonic, and many others. Like I mentioned, for website generation, there is Bolt and Lovable. All of these are things that marketing teams have to do or have done traditionally, and now all of these are becoming tools. And then AI content generation is a big space where there is, anywhere from Figma, Canva, Gamma, Descript, Writer, and within content generation, there are obviously three flavors: audio, video, and text. And there is, workflows that are built from text to video, video to audio, audio to text, like all combinations of that. And there are tools that do all of those different things. Any questions here before I continue? All good? Okay. Now, diving in a little bit deeper around email marketing. When you think of email marketing, it's a spectrum. So there is cold emails on one side, which is when you purchase a list of emails. These are, generally text-based emails with a front-end offer, couple of lines, maybe two or three lines, that are going to people that aren't expecting to hear from them. It requires constant iteration. It requires a lot of work on making sure your domain doesn't get burnt and you're warming up in mailboxes constantly and rotating things and doing a lot of things on the setup. And open rates around cold emails are generally less than 1%, but it is a very direct way to generate leads and in inbound effort. Very many people, when they think of email marketing, they think of cold emails. Transactional emails are the emails that you get when you sign up for any tool from a bank, could be, forget password or billing confirmation. And these typically are set. Developers generally, deal with transactional emails and they set it once and never sort of gets updated. Open rates are obviously very high because if you're, forgot your password, you are going to open that email, or if you are getting a billing confirmation, you will, figure that out. What a lot of you are focused on is lifecycle email marketing, where it's opted in email addresses versus bought email addresses. So think of an app, think of anywhere where you signed up and you get a series of emails. Those are lifecycle marketing or nurture emails. These require generally pixel perfect graphics. So it has 7 stages. Got the header, the footer, the salutation, some CTA, some description of the offer, and a lot of maybe 2, 3 paragraphs. It depends on what you're trying to say, but it's all very, very, it's an offer that you're sending. So it needs to be brand cohesive. There's a lot of strategic iterations that need to be done in this thing. And because most people are expecting to hear from you when they sign up, open rates are typically 20 to 30%. One of the things that's changed with nurture emails in the last couple of years is that the three big folks that manage 60 to 70% of mailboxes, Google, Apple, and Microsoft, reclassify emails into inbox and promotions and offers, as well as spam. They make it very easy for certain emails to be unsubscribed. And that has a direct impact on, your domain reputation and how many people are responding, because, if something goes to promotions, very few people are going to go into promotions and look at your emails. Any questions here? Does this all make sense to you guys? What we're going to talk about when it comes to like prompting is how to generate nurture emails, because these are sort of for, outbound cold emails, and then transactional emails are configured once. They don't have too much text, and the majority use case for email marketing is these nurture emails. Cool. Okay, so this is where we start with prompting. So when you think of prompting the LLMs, it is about your mindset. So think of the LLM as a very capable intern, very smart person that has a lot of context about what you're trying to do. And but you still own the final outcome. In spite of you having a very capable intern, you still own the final outcome. You cannot rely on your LLM to do magic. It needs to be provided what we call frontier information or context for it to do what you're trying to do. And one of the structures, and we'll go deep into this, is you need to think about your goal, your audience, and your context uh, before you can, to get the best out of the LLM. Okay, so in here now I'm getting into prompting techniques. So there are 4 prompting techniques. I'm going to talk about 3 of them here, and then the 4th one on the next slide. So the first prompting technique is zero-shot prompting. And this is basically where you're directly instructing the AI without any examples, using its built-in knowledge for quick email drafts. It could be email drafts, it could be, anything else that you're trying to do, but I'm going to use just email for as a background for our conversation here. So an example of that would be write a promotional email for a Black Friday sale targeting fashion enthusiasts, including a 30% discount code and urgency in the CTA. So this is a very um, sort of simple zero-shot prompt. Some people also call it one-shot prompting. And it's maybe one line, maybe a couple of lines for the prompting. The good news is that zero-shot prompting is very effective. Like if you provide, just your website and, a little bit of context, it will generate, very surprisingly good emails. And it wasn't always the case like this. So we were building this in, summer of 24, almost a couple of years now. And I was panicking because the prompts and the LLMs, no matter how much context you provided, weren't generating, enough, good quality output. But last year, around sort of the DeepSeek moment that happened, the LLMs started to generate a lot better emails. And every month in the last year, 2025, it's gotten better and better. So that's zero-shot prompting. Zero-shot prompting is something that 80% of people do. And some people will write just a simple line and, try and test it out, see how the model is performing, whether they should invest more time. And it's making a lot of people lazy because they just write like one email, one line and expect magic. But ideally, even in zero-shot prompting, you should write at least a paragraph or 2 paragraphs where you are providing some goals, some context, the audience that you are targeting to get something that is then you can iterate on. So it will, generate a good email, but you'll still have some glitches that you'll have to specify, mostly in terms of formatting. So it will generate good text in content that looks pretty good. Obviously, grammar you never have to worry about with any of these LLMs generating content. Where this will not do very well is it won't format things properly the way that you want. And then you'll have to, work on the format and iterating. To prevent that, what you can do is what is called few shot prompting. So here you can provide two, three sample emails to set the desired format, tone, and structure. So example one would be, this is my subject. I sent this email. I want it to be like, hi, XYZ. This is my CTA. This is my link. And you provide two or three examples of how your formatting should look like, and then give a prompt saying use these examples and that I provided to generate a promotional email for a Black Friday sale, and that will allow you to get your result right up front, and that's called few shot prompting. The third one is called chain of thought. So break down email creation into reasons, steps for better personalization and logic. So you can even ask the LLMs on to generate a chain of thought prompt for you or a few shot prompt for you, so you can use it to generate the prompt before you submit it. And we'll do some of those things as exercises. So in chain of thought, you basically go step by step. So craft an engaging subject, personalize with sign up, add value driven body, and then ask like you know, provide prompts the way that you would think, and then get it to slowly build the email and have all the context that that you require. Any questions on these three techniques so far? All good? Yes, Henry, go ahead. Are you able to? You're on mute if you're talking. Henry?
Can
Go
you
ahead.
hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you very much so far. I have some questions. One for now with
Okay.
chain of thought. So I was thinking maybe if before we actually prompt, maybe train the AI tool on say a couple of resources first, and then while prompting, because there are times when I've prompted AI to write in a particular tone and voice, even giving it say a particular maybe document containing a particular style of writing. Still, it doesn't usually turn out where I want, particularly for emails. So I don't know, is there any way that can be fixed using chain of thoughts, to make up for style of writing and probably diction or
Yes.
something of the sort, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're asking if there is a prompt, like if you have a brand guideline, can you give it the brand guideline and then it uses that brand guideline to build out your. Yes, I'll show you that. We do that. Okay. Now, the fourth and the most comprehensive sort of technique is called role-based prompting, where there are 5 steps. So whenever you do role-based prompting, this is the most comprehensive way. If you use few shot prompting or zero shot prompting, different LLMs will behave differently. So each LLM is starting to have a personality of their own. So if I just give the same prompt to different LLMs and it's a single line, Claude will generate very different than OpenAI versus Gemini. Those are the top three that you can use in terms of LLMs. But if you provide a role-based prompt where you're very specific about the role, the context that you're providing, which is, and when you think of context, what you want to do is think about what the LLM may not know about your business, about your product, what is being called frontier knowledge. And that is something that you need to provide. Then describe the task, the format in which you want it to be, and the constraints like do not use types of things. So if you provide all of this to every LLM, the difference will be marginal in terms of what it generates, because now you specified very specifically what it is that you want to get done. So this is just role-based prompting. It's just building on zero shot, few shot, chain of thought, and then role-based. And here's an example of role-based where your role is you are a direct response copywriter with 15 years of experience writing for a DTC e-commerce brand. You specialize in high converting email sequences, etc. And then context is the context that is about your business, like a skincare serum, etc. Task is 5 email welcome sequence. You want the first email to be this, second email to be this, third email to be this. So if you have already specified, then the LLM is not guessing. It's taking, your, expertise in this area to build. And then format, what do you want? You can obviously also ask the LLM what is the ideal format. But, if you specify the format, it's even better. So you will get more constrained output. This is really useful, like role-based. If you are, let's say you are the one who's the expert, but you have a team of people that are going to be, using Humanic or any other tool, then you can describe a full prompt and ask, your team to always use that so that, whatever is generated is, is fixed instead of being very variable. Similarly, the constraints, obviously the more specific you are with the constraints, the better it is. So that's, the 4 techniques of prompting that we will now use, and I will describe to you how it works in real life. Cool. So if, if you are in front of obviously most of you are in front of a computer, do log into Humanic.ai. Just go to Humanic.ai, go to sign up, and it's free to get started. So you can log in and you will see a screen like this. And so you can follow along as I'm describing how to do this here. So this is, the main page for Humanic, and this is your simple prompt box that's in here. And these are all the models that we test constantly. So we put a tag called best on the model that's working for email marketing the best. So these are the latest models, the Claude Sonnet 4.6, 4.5, and this is the larger model for Claude. So Claude comes in 3 sizes: Opus, Sonnet, and Haiku. Haiku is the smaller model, so we don't generally use that, but Sonnet works really, really well. And then Opus you can use many times. And then these are the Gemini latest models, which are from Google, and then ChatGPT 5.2, which is their latest model. I'm also testing Grok, but doesn't format. It does many things very well, but doesn't do email very well. So those are your models. So you can select any of the models. So Claude will work best. Gemini does really good work with creativity. OpenAI does very good with cold emails in general. Henry, to answer your question, you are able to upload a PDF document that has all your style guides, all of the information, and it will take that information and store it so that whenever you're creating new campaigns, etc., you don't have to specify too many things. It's already available as context. Does that help? And then you can attach any images that you might have right here in the prompt box, just like you would normally. And we also provide you certain zero-shot prompt, but fully formed, um, sort of prompts that are ready for you to go. So you can write your own prompt, but I'm just going to use like an existing thing. Is there anybody who can give me a website that I can use for their company or their project or anything to demonstrate how this will work and create a newsletter? Okay, Ash, thank you, Alok. I will take this website. I don't know what this, has, and it will go ahead and start to go to this website and open the URL and gather all of the information and generate first iteration of a newsletter. So here you'll see the context. Any further editing that you need to do, you can just do in the prompt box here. You can switch out the models, you can change the campaign preferences if you wanted to, and anything you need to do with the email font, color, style, spacing, etc. You would use this. Just by providing the URL, the system will automatically take the brand, colors, font, styles, so all of the brand information it already extracts, like Humanic already does that for you. So let's give it a couple of minutes to generate this email. To send this email, all you need to do is specify obviously your sender name. So I'll just say hello. Did I get your name right? Alok Agrawal. And there are two ways in which you can send this email, one through Gmail. So if you're sending, let's say 20, 30 emails, less than 100 emails, you can send by Gmail, especially if you have a warmed up domain. But for any mass email, like if you're sending thousands of emails, you should connect your domain. So I have like 4 of my domains connected, but you can click here on manage domains and you can, once you connect your domain, then you can, all the emails will go out. So your deliverability and inbox placement using an existing domain becomes much higher if you're using a domain rather than using Gmail. Okay, so it took a minute, but now it's created this newsletter for your tour company, I'm guessing. Does it look good to you? Yeah. So it generates, let me see if I can increase the font size. Yeah, maybe. So it generated the first email. There's no delay. It generates the subject line. It picks out most of these pictures from your website, and it will, all of these things like will already be connected to your website automatically. So this should go to, your website, wherever this is. Apply for visa would go to, wherever you have like the visa thing on your website. So all the CTAs are automatically connected. The footer, all of this thing is generated by itself. And as you prompt, so let's say in here, let's say one of the glitches is that there are some gaps which I don't want. So, oops, sorry. What I can do is I can say, I can take a screenshot, drag it in here and say, please regenerate email to not have these cards, but a continuous email. So this is how you would provide context for any formatting issue that you have. and it will look at this. It will, I'll say I'll redesign the email exactly how I specified it. And that's how you would edit some of the formatting. So any new version that it generates will show up here. So you can switch between versions. You can delete a version, etc. And then it will also show you how it looks like on a mobile device. It generally will do a good job of also making sure it, looks good on desktop and mobile. And here we provide a list of everything that needs to be done to make it, place in the inbox. So here it's saying that the subject line is, too long. So it's recommending that the subject line can be reduced. Again, you can prompt it and say, reduce it to 60 characters and it will change it. Similarly, if it detects certain things as free or limited time, excessive use of these words can be taken by Google and other providers to be spam and therefore not go into the inbox. So these are, certain advisories that it provides, and then it also tells you what are some of the other things that typically, will not allow you to place the email in the inbox. Okay. And so this is an example of, a simple zero-shot prompt that was generated. And now let's see if it does change what I told it to change. So it's regenerated this email and made it this one continuous block instead of the cards that it came up with first. So this is like, I think this looks pretty damn good to me, but generally it'll take you like 8 to 10 iterations to get it right. Sometimes faster, depending on how well formed your initial prompt is. And then you can, uh, send it out. To send it out, like I mentioned, let's say, one is that you can send a test email. So, Alok, if you can provide me your email address, I will, enter it here and you will get a email. And so you can see, so generally it's, great practice to, I can also send it, Elizabeth, to you. Okay. It's great practice to always, send yourself a test email and see how it looks like on your device, because one of the biggest challenges with email is it may look good here, but how does it look to the end user? So within Humanic, we have built a bunch of workflows where we make sure that all these emails look great on most mobile devices. One thing I would like to do here is that these are doesn't have rounded corners, so it's not looking very slick. Like this has rounded corners, but this doesn't. So I'll say, you know, generate or regenerate, generate email and make sure header, sorry, image. Okay. So it will regenerate and, get it in line with everything else that looks modern with rounded corners. And let's see if it even does that. So those are, all your editing you can do here without having to do a drag and drop editor, etc. So that's number one. While it's generating this, let me show you a couple of other things. So to send an email, you can go in here and set up your domains. So I have all of these domains that are connected. To connect a domain, you just click here, put in your domain. If you want more deliverability, you can switch off open tracking and click tracking. Because if you have open and click tracking, sometimes, especially when you're doing cold emails, it won't go through. Or it reduces the likelihood of it going through. So it's better to just not have it. And to create a domain, you need to go into your domain provider, whether it's GoDaddy, Namecheap, Hostinger, wherever else there are like a, dozen hosting providers, and you have to just create three records, one MX record and two text records. And then when you click on the domain setting, you can say add an MX record, copy the send, and these values you can just click here and copy. It takes about 5 minutes. It's pretty straightforward for you to add this, and when you verify, it will be verified and the domain is connected. Most people, it takes them a few minutes to get your domain right. So you set the domain up and you've created this email. So it's created this email with rounded corners. It didn't completely understand what I was asking it to do. It made this rounded inbox, but let's see, but it hasn't made this one and this one. Again, you can just prompt it again and it will make this. You can put a screenshot here, drag it in here. If this is not happening, then you can go switch to a bigger model like an Opus. Another thing that you can do so let's say I created Claude 4.6, I can go to 5.2 and I can say, give me a plan to improve this email. And this is like half form prompt. I should have also given it uh, a goal, like I want more open rates or want click rates. So it will go ahead and give you a list example. So you can play one model against the other model. Uh, and derive the benefit of both models. So 5.2 does a really good job of analysis, and then you can go back to like a you know 4.6. You should read this, like make sure that what it's saying. So one of the things I really do is generate a plan to make this better and to drive FOMO. So let's say it does that. So it will come up with how to drive FOMO, and then I will switch back out to 4.6 and say, implement this plan. And then it'll ask you any questions. Do you want, FOMO to be framed more? Let's pick A and then implement the plan to make this email better. So now I'm asking Claude Sonnet 4.6 to implement and regenerate this email. Okay, let me do that. I just sent it to you. So version 3 has been sent out. You can move back and forth like I mentioned before. And then let's see how it changes when I said, I want better FOMO. If you want a drip campaign, like this is just showing you one email, but if you wanted 3 emails, all you need to do is prompt here and say, generate me a campaign with 5 emails or to do a certain goal, and it will do that. So you can generate, so while it's generating, let me show you what I was talking about. So let's say I have, this campaign. What did I created? Yeah, so this is a series of campaigns that I created. So these are, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and there are delays. If you want to change the delay, you can go in and change the delay between. But you can create lifecycle campaigns and you can create, your simple campaigns. Is this what I just created, Rhino Tours? No. Yeah. I think it did not regenerate. In any situation, it doesn't regenerate email. I do not see any changes. It will go ahead and I think because I moved out. Now, so it's sort of generating the fully FOMO optimized regeneration with option A implemented. So you will see those changes here. Any questions so far? Anyone? Okay. Now, the next thing I wanted to show you while it's generating. So next thing is to upload your contacts. So you generate the email. Currently, I have like 21,000 contacts, but you can upload your contacts as a CSV file into, this, contact list. And then again, you can use the LLM to generate cohorts for you. So I can say, generate me a cohort of users located in Africa. And I can again use the model. We also have the audio feature. So some people like to use the audio feature to say, like I can go ahead and say, generate a cohort for me for all users in Africa. So it will do that. And I select a model. If we have people in my contact list that are in Africa, it found 38 people. I will say Africa. And when I go into my cohorts, I see that there are 39 people that are in Africa. I think it created two. And then, lots of other cohorts that I've already created. So once you have created all these cohorts, I can go to here and I can, either upload a CSV file, but if I've, created my cohorts, I can send it to my cohorts in, Africa and let's say Australia. And that's how you would send it out to people. So now it generated this email along with, FOMO, limited time deals, prices, grab the deals now, popular, sold out. So, it's put in all this information to drive more urgency. Lock in my deal now, apply for visa now, etc. Into the email. So you can ask it to minimize it, like don't overuse the FOMO, etc. So, like I said, this is the fourth iteration and you can do that. Sounds good? Okay. Next thing I wanted to show you is hyper-personalization. So I connected two cohorts in here. One is Africa, one is Australia. And I can go ahead and say, so each of this cohort, you can go into the cohort section and define the metadata for these cohorts. So I can say, these are users that speak. Is there somebody give me a language that is popular in Africa outside of English? Anyone? Is that a language, Yoruba? Okay, French. Let's try French. Yoruba may not be something that speak French. I will do this. So I can okay, I will do French. And this is so I will say generate emails for Africa and in French and Australian users in Australian English. So it will go ahead. So this is the base variant that we created, and it will go ahead and create two variations of this email. One for users that, are from Africa in French, and for users that are in Australia in the Australian English. So if you are using, if you have the same email and you want to try it, some of our customers, they translate the subject line. Like, there was a company in Dubai that uses us, and they make the subject line in Arabic. Uh, and so that you can test and see whether that, improves your open rate. And obviously, if you know your audience, you can also translate the entire email into Arabic and or any other language that you want, and see whether that improves your open rate or click rate. So let's give it some time. There are questions. Okay, thanks for that. We can try Yoruba, but I think the model may not recognize that. So let's give it that. So with a single email, you don't need to send the same email to everyone. This can be used in many other situations, like if you have an e-commerce store, you want to send people that have abandoned cart less than $1,000 and above $1,000, like different promotion codes. One of the large banks in India is using us for sending it to high net worth and very high net worth users, different flavors of emails with different offers automatically. So if you have you're working across countries and languages, then this is a feature that can be, very useful. Any other questions around this? So what I would encourage you to do, yes, it can build a sequence. I'll show you that next. And I think I already showed that earlier, but I will, in a sequence that was already generated, but I will generate a sequence and show you that. So yeah, it has created in French. Yes. So this email has been generated in French, and this would have been generated in Australian English. Yes, Henry.
Okay, so this is quite impressive, right? So but I have a question pertaining to language. Now, I know that yes, to be able to generate language properly based on, I don't know, either transliteration, right, or maybe direct translation. But then, there are like colloquials, slangs, and these things that spice language up. That makes language really human, right? So I don't know,
Mhm.
is it able to incorporate something like that?
Yes, it is. It depends on whether it's been trained on that language, but like, yeah, for most, major languages, English, French, you just have to, provide it, the prompt to say, make it, use slang to make it more personal, etc., and it'll do that. Is anybody else? Hey, Bosede, you can go ahead with your question.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. This is really, really interesting and an eye opener. I just want to know, when you do Google Translation, at times the thing doesn't rhyme. If you're a native speaker, you can see that at times the Google's translation is not doing justice to the meaning you want to. My question is similar to anybody, but this is now it's still machine, whatever, AI. So I don't know, is this better? You mentioned something like if they have trained it, you think it will be better than the Google translation we used to have in the past?
It'll be
So we don't lose the meaning.
it'll be similar to the Google translation. It's all machine generated, but like I said right in the beginning, uh, like the jobs are just going to be redefined. They're not going away. It will not be 100% when it comes to sort of um, you know, It's still machine generated translation, so it won't be as good as local native speaker. It's an approximation to that. So reviewing it, making sure it's correct, etc., is still a human job, but it'll get you 60, 70% of the way there, just like Google Translation does, but it won't be 100% accurate like a native speaker. Especially if there are, languages that are more local than global, it will probably not do the best job. Anyone? Hopefully that answers it. Anybody else want to give me an app or a website for which we can generate a welcome email series?
Yeah.
Can you type in your URL of a company that I can use? So I would highly encourage everyone to go, log in for free to Humanic.ai and try it out and see whether a zero-shot prompt, a few-shot prompt, like if you have examples of emails that you already have, you can attach those screenshots of these emails right here and say generate, similar or different, and see how, experiment with different models. So this is really what you want to be spending your time on as email marketers, is thinking through, trying to figure it for yourself, which models are working better for your context and for your domain than some of the other models. I'm still waiting for somebody to share a website that I can use to demonstrate. Can anyone give me a website where I can generate an email sequence? Okay. Let's use this. So I am going to show you. So welcome email campaign series for. So it should, I'll go to the website as normal and create a sequence of emails. Yes, you can. Personal finance, yes. Yeah, you can go into Humana.ai, put their website there, and see for yourself. So here it's generating, 3 emails. So one email, then it's putting a delay of 2 days, then another email, then waiting 5 days, and then generating this email out. Obviously, the more context you provide as to what you want to drive, like more conversions or meeting with the team or etc., you can do that, and it will generate the email in that way. If you already have something, then it will create similar to what you have already utilized. So it's generated the first email. You can also see the code here, like if you are curious on what it's generating. But so it's generated the first email, generating the second email, and you'll see that entire sequence here. You can also do this hyper personalization across the entire sequence. So you can say generate all the emails in the campaign sequence and convert them into a language, or change the flavor, change, let's say, the header. So you can attach an image here and say change the header or the footer for all emails by just giving it a prompt. So it makes it makes it easier for you to manipulate different things with a single prompt. And so with Humanic, you have like 3 stages. You can upload your contact list, create cohorts, then you can generate the copy, iterate the copy, and then you can also send it out to millions of users around the world, and it'll render properly on their end user devices. So it's gone ahead and created what? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think it messed up a little bit here, but it's created. This is the first email that it's created. So it was going to create. This is the second email. And this is the third email. So this should be linking directly to your website. Yeah. So we would have to delete these 3. I think maybe I prompted it twice or something. Yeah, this is a glitch, but we can delete this, but these are, so if I go here, I can. The first 3 nodes. Yeah, I'll use a bigger model and see if that works. But yeah, it's once in a while there'll be a glitch like that, but these are the 3 emails that that it's generated. Hourly or daily limit. No, so it's not an hourly or daily limit for responses, but we provide credits. So when you started, you will get 1,000 credits. We charge 10 credits per prompt. So if you send fully formed prompts, you burn less credits. So we want to incentivize you to uh, you know learn prompting and provide better prompts. And then it's 1 credit per send. So on the free plan, you can send close to 1,000 emails a month. And then the next plan up, which is $20, you can send 10,000 emails, and then 50,000 and 100,000. So let it just finish, and then I'll show you. What the prompt, how the credits and pricing works. But yeah, there is no limit. As long as you have credits, it will continue to work and respond. So it's going to take a little bit, but we'll come back to this. So credits are here. So these are your credits. And so like I mentioned, for $0, you see 1,000 credits. You can have annual plan, but like $20, you can get 10,000 credits, and then 50,000, and then 100,000 credits. So we charge 10 credits per prompt and 1 credit per send, and you can upgrade and downgrade back and forth. Now let's see what it did. So it generated 4, 5, 6. I'm unable to delete 1, 3 steps. Yeah, so anything that it cannot do, it will ask you questions. So you should read this. This is a glitch that we'll have to work around. But yeah, that's that's sort of what it can do. And hopefully that was helpful. Oh, yes, metrics. Let me show you the metrics. Thank you for that question. Yes, it does view work as an ESP. We, send the email. So like I send this email in the morning, and you have all the analytics: sent, delivered, open, clicked, bounce, unsubscribe, etc. And I can click on, any one of these people and see, who was complaining. about the email that I sent. And like if I have a sequence of emails that I've sent, let me show you that. It will give you analytics for each email. So if I go in here, this first email, second email, third email, all the analytics, you can look at all the people who've clicked or opened your emails. So yes, it does work as an ESP. We have all this analytics. The last thing is, let's say you created this email that you really liked. You can also clone it so that you don't have to reprompt everything and build on top of that. So this is another feature that I use quite a bit to, if I like something and I want to redo it, I just clone it and then start from there. Cool. Any other questions? So the next step is, to see for yourself, get comfortable with prompting. We also have a Slack channel that you can join where we talk a lot about, prompting, and we've got, let me share our Slack channel link. I'll share it in here. So we share, what's the latest in prompting in our Slack channel. There are about, 500 odd people there that you can connect with, introduce yourselves and learn more about, AI and marketing more broadly, but Humanic more specifically in terms of what we are building for email marketing. Hopefully this has been useful. And if there are more questions, feel free to ping me on Slack, on email, on LinkedIn, anywhere. And happy to answer any questions, happy to help you, build more, prompt better, and utilize the power of AI and LLMs in the best way possible. Cool. Any other questions anybody has? Happy to answer. And then if encourage you to log into Humanic, test out the prompts, test out the models, see what you're able to build, and if there are any issues, then let me know. Thank you all. Hope you have, thank you very much for spending your Friday evening, many of you in Europe and Africa, and learning about prompting and Humanic. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thanks. I will be sharing the recording on with you guys, everybody who attended. And we do this weekly, so if you want to join again and learn more, then happy to reconnect.